doing on this beautiful day? Well, Meghan Markle had a birthday. She had a birthday, and we're going to talk about some royal news, what's going on with Meghan and Harry. We're going to have a conversation with our little group. Meghan Markle shares a birthday with the Queen Mother, with Obama, and with myself. Yes, I have the same birthday. So I thought the least I could do is talk about her birthday. So welcome, everybody. I am Deanna from Hot for History, and we go live every now and then because we like to talk about quirky history news and facts, but also we do like to discuss some royal gossip. So I'm really happy that you guys are here because I sort of just popped up like I typically do. Let me know where you're from. Hi, Steven. Hi, Texas Gina. Patrick Christie is hilarious. Then I've got to check him out. Oh, yeah, I've heard him before. He's good. The prenup. Dude, I don't see the prenup article. I've got to get that. So this is interesting. So apparently, let's talk about what Steven says. GB News reports that Meghan spent the birthday with friends, not with Harry. I did see a really interesting picture of Meghan Markle and Harry, but Harry wasn't in the same car as hers, and he started leaning over looking like, redhead red in his face, like he's kind of ticked off about something. He did not look happy. But then there was this picture of her. Let me see if you guys can see it a little bit bigger in this dress that, of course, everybody's talking about, her striped dress, but there's also a lot of like Hamburglar memes and that type of thing. But apparently this is such an affordable dress. It's only 239 pounds. So anyhow, she goes out. They're saying that they were together and others are saying not. So I don't know. I don't know if they were or not, but they say that she went out. She had her birthday party, celebrated in her dress, but there's all kinds of drama or news going on. And if you look at the articles these days about the royal family, especially Meghan and Harry, she has all of these individual articles coming up. Meghan. There already seems in the press that there's like this slow separation. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Hey, Gina. Yeah, I love GB News. I think it's really, really great. Okay, so, and then Stephen, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say and what that article said about the prenup. I heard that King Charles insisted on one in some regards to his certain estates, and then some things she couldn't touch, but that she still would come out with about $80 million. I don't know, but it's the big custody thing that would need to be discussed. And again, these are all rumors. We are talking about alleged things, and we're speculating on what we see in the news. Typically, when a lot of this stuff continues to be leaked, it ends up being true in the end. I'm just saying it. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's check this out too. So anyhow, they went out on their birthday, or maybe they didn't. I feel like in this picture over here, if you guys had it, you can scroll in and see Harry in the background. Okay, so this happened. Apparently there was no response from the royal family whatsoever on any of their social regarding like, hey, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, happy birthday. And now it's like, ooh, all this drama. Okay, is it weird being American and British royalty all at once? Is it weird? I think it's cool. Like I mean, I think all of us wanted that. We were like, yay, we've got our American princess. We had Princess Grace in Monaco. There's been some others, but very exciting, and yet, didn't really work out the way that we had planned. So GB News has a lead vlog on going to Barbie. Oh yeah, okay. I did see that she went to see the Barbie movie kind of as some kind of nod to some girl that was getting married, and that was on her birthday, and it was a girls' night out. They can always spin it whatever way, but yeah, I'm going to chase down that article and probably do a short on that. Very interesting that the princess was out, watching the whole Barbie thing. But do you think that the royal family should have at least acknowledged Meghan? This article did say that, hey, they normally don't shout out all of the royals, just the working royals. So that was the big thing. Like, oh no, they wouldn't say anything about her. But I do think there's a distinction because they're in the same family. So I don't know if they would shout out happy birthday, Harry, happy birthday, Meghan, but you would think that the king or whatever should. But at the same time, with all that's been going on, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so then here is this interesting little bit of news. So anyhow, this was royal family silent on social media as Meghan celebrates birthday. Didn't say anything. And so I feel, you see how she's just getting so much, and it's not just because of her birthday. She's getting so much individual press these days, which kind of piggybacks on the speculation, like, are they separating? Are they going their own different ways? Okay, yeah. Isn't Prince Harry? Yeah, so I believe he's going for a polo match in Singapore, and then later this year, Prince William and Kate will be there for the Earthshot Awards, even though Prince William is coming to New York first for the nominations. So I do believe he's going there. And then the news is, the word out is that Meghan will definitely be at the Invictus Games, yada, yada, yada. But then they're also looking at possibly selling their house, which everybody in Hollywood knows that that's code for they're splitting up. But that's just, of course, maybe it's not the same with them. Okay, let me see what Stephen is saying. So Stephen says, as in prenup, the Good News source reported Queen up in arms and forced mini prenup about ring. Okay. They blocked wedding until she signed. Reported also Meghan taking jewelry and how Queen took back ring. Oh, well, the Queen had, what's her name? Angela. Can't remember her last name. Angela, the pit bull, her, one of her lady in waitings who was like, hey, give me the jewelry, give me the crown, I will chase you down. Like but yeah. I would think they would have prenup on more than that. There would have to be a lot of prenups, even if it's just for details, even if it's just for details, like, hey, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. Apparently the crown owns Welsh gold. Yes. Yeah, they do. And they say that all of the royal wedding rings are always set in Welsh gold, and including Meghan's ring. So, and that's a big deal because it's very, very rare and very unique. Okay. I put a link in comments, I think, to one of your shorts. Okay, thanks. I will check that out. Okay, so Meghan's highs and lows this year. I'm going to read this article. I think it's mainly Newsweek is kind of doing a play-by-play. Some of these more, I don't know, let's say, I'm going to call them popular, like, news magazines in America, but I also feel like it seems very manipulated by Meghan and Harry and the press in general. Newsweek tends to be the same, so it's really hard to know out of any of these, like, what the real deal is. But so Meghan, her highs and the lows. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. So they basically are saying, okay, at the beginning of the year we had Netflix with the series, and that was a major blockbuster hit. Yay. And then Spotify, she just came out of the gate with her 12 episode podcast, right? They're like, man, she was so great with archetypes, but then not so much because they got kicked out. Then they're talking about Spare. Then they're talking about the chaotic car chase, talking about the fashion stuff. So it looks like they're trying so hard to keep Meghan and Harry forefront, always in the news, but especially Meghan these days. Especially Meghan. Okay, so let's look at some of these notes. Okay, I will check out the link, Stephen. Okay, Charles took Diana's, yeah. So the royal brief says, Charles took Diana's HRH for giving one interview. I know. And I made a video that a lot of people really, I mean, it's a short about Harry maybe given Diana, I guess they call it not post-mortem, in memoriam, the title HRH back once he's king, because the story is that she was so upset by that because Princess Diana, then Prince Charles, took her HRH, her Royal Highness title, away from her, which then is kind of a mess because then she would end up having to bow to everybody. And she is the mother of a future king, basically the queen mother. I mean, that was not something that we actually addressed, but had Diana lived, would she have been considered the queen mother, and she would have had to have her HRH back, right? So that's the big question, like, would she still have been queen mother, because she would have been, the monarch's mother. That is a, great thing to think of. So anyhow, she did have that taken, but the big thing that people always say, why is she still, Duchess of Sussex, even if they would get a divorce? And then I think Brian was on here saying that that's not the case. She wouldn't have it. So there's all these debates on whether or not she would keep it or not, the title. Okay, so the Welsh gold came from a large chunk, and none has been mined for over 20 years. And so it's a very rare piece of jewelry that she would have. And then according to what Stephen's saying regarding the prenup, her ring has the Welsh gold, and then apparently would be property, I believe, of the crown after that. So, and Stephen, let me know if I'm saying that wrong. Am I are you for Harry's decision to leave the royal status and move to the States? You know what? I kind of understood it in the beginning. I was like, great, he's trying to do something different. And so I think the decision to move on, it kind of made sense to me, So here's the thing. It's the execution of the move that they totally botched. Like they could have moved on and left and done all these things, but still have maintained contact with them and not sold them, the royal family, out. So as dramatic and as dysfunctional as their family, I'm sure, is, I think most people now are just tired of them using that as their brand, like selling out their relatives. So I don't agree with that. But I understood, to a point, as much as you can understand just by observing, right, why Harry would need kind of a fresh start and be somewhere different. But I thought that he would have been ideally set in Africa, which is kind of where they were suggesting he was going to go in the first place because of his roots there. He loved it there. So that's what I thought. So when I heard Hollywood, I was like, okay, I understand kind of coming to the States, maybe having fun, but Hollywood, like, that's the opposite of Africa, where, he would get more, privacy and all of that, which was what they were saying they wanted. So it confused me. So to answer your question, Betty Bernard, I was in agreement, but now I'm like, they've totally messed it up. Rare to not spend birthday with spouse. Yes. Article GB News showed previous birthdays going out, all love and kisses. Yeah. So we're all speculating based on this sort of after their 7-year honeymoon into the 8th year, that what this looks like is that some things are going down. Like, and then even when I tell you guys about, I don't know if this is the next article. Yeah. Okay. So this article. So we were on here the other day and everybody's like, well, they can't be getting a divorce because, they still have their house in Montecito and they may sell it and move into a house in Malibu because they want to be closer to Los Angeles and all the things that they're doing, because she has a new deal with WME, yada, yada, yada. But word in Hollywood or in California is that everybody knows that real estate sales of a couple's property precedes the divorce. It almost always happens. So it's questionable. Now, we don't know if the house is up for sale or not yet, but we're questioning that. So it's possible that they're selling the house. They're not seen together as much. Her name is in the forefront of the news all the time. Harry's heading off to, she says that she is going to be with him in the Invictus Games, which is great because that's kind of where they first had their, premiere, like when they came, their coming out party when they were engaged. But the big question is, I don't know. Everybody's it's not passing the smell test, I guess. So, so Stephen says, and there were 2 stones on the side were an issue. Harry bought center stone. It was a very interesting article. I've got to read it. Okay, guys. So it's at GB News. I'm not up to date with that particular one. So this particular article here was about, I don't know. It was kind of about her astrology. And they're saying that, so this person who was like an advisor to Princess Diana also is saying, hey, Meghan Markle, all in the cards, in the stars, I mean, I have to watch this too, because I have the same, unless they're talking about the location, but I have the same thing. But, in September and October, big positive moves for her. All of these great things are going to happen, but she will definitely be out of her house. That's what it says. What do we know? This is like, we have people like myself on YouTube, all of us here just kind of piping in. We have the royal news gossipers. We have the tabloids. Everybody's speculating. The truth is nobody really knows, but we're still allowed to be able to sit here and talk about it, right? So we don't know. I mean, even the psychics are piping in. Okay. Then they having issue about school not accepting birth certificates due to Duchess not valid. Okay, having issue about school not accepting birth certificate. Okay, I have to follow that. Are you talking about Meghan's birth certificate now? Because technically when you become a duchess, you have a whole different thing. Or are you talking about Harry, and then bringing the kids into school, whatever. So not a proper birth certificate. Oh my gosh. When we get deeper in the weeds with this royal stuff, it gets really intense. But let's be honest, if we probably went down the rabbit trail with some of the stuff with Charles and, and even the Queen, we would find some things too. But this is our area of focus today. So I'm good. Stephen, I have to find that article. You said you attached it to one of my, at this point, we should be texting. So anyhow, all right, so next up we have King Charles. Okay, so this is a big deal too. I wonder if they mentioned this. Okay, so it's almost the anniversary of the Queen's death. I mean, it's like, we're looking at a month from now. So you would think that Harry and Meghan would all be like, okay, let's all get together and honor her and talk about what's going on this year. And apparently they're not invited to anything. And they also had their summer trip at Balmoral. And now we don't think that the king really invited them, although some say he did invite them, but they just didn't want to come. So it's been revealed, that Charles will be honoring a heartbreaking family anniversary in line with royal tradition. His Majesty is currently enjoying his summer break in Scotland, which, I'm sure he would have wanted his son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren to join them. The first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's death is September 8th, 2023, and it's been confirmed that how Charles will be spending the emotional day. The royal news comes as Prince Harry's frivolous reason for considering the same university subject as Kate Middleton was reviewed. All right, I got to follow up that one. King Charles and Queen Camilla are currently enjoying the start of their summer break at the Castle of May, with reports suggesting they could soon move to Birkhall or Balmoral Castle for the rest of the holiday. Their Scottish break upholds one of the late Queen Elizabeth's favorite traditions, as she was known for staying at Balmoral from August to October. Sign me up, somebody. I would totally, you wouldn't have to force me to stay in that place from August to October. With plenty of relatives joining her during that time. Many members of the royal family are expected to enjoy precious time with the Majesties there this year too. But the holiday will no doubt be bittersweet as the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's death draws nearer. Now, it's been announced that King Charles will be honoring his heartbreaking family anniversary and he's decided to continue another one of the beloved mother's tradition. Given the public outpouring of grief After Queen Elizabeth's passing in September of 2022, some fans might have expected there be some public event to mark the first anniversary of her loss. However, according to the BBC, a royal spokesperson has confirmed that there won't be any kind of public official event. Instead, King Charles will be honoring the date and Queen Elizabeth's memory by spending the day quietly and privately. I think that's good. I really do. I think it's good because there's so much noise all the time, and especially in grief. Imagine losing your mother. And again, I know she was old, but I lost my mother when she was old a couple of years ago. It doesn't take away from the depth of the grief. So why not? It's been going, everything. Her funeral was so everything, all this fanfare. Then he had the coronation, all this stuff with the drama. Why not take a breather? So there's no plans. It says there's no plans for members of the immediate or extended family to gather together formally in private for the anniversary. His Majesty's decision to spend the poignant day in private is something that in itself could be seen as paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth. During her reign, she used to spend the anniversary of her father, King George's VI death privately at Sandringham, where he passed away in 1952. So he's basically going to be staying in the place where she passed away and out of the public eye. So I think that's respectful. I think that makes sense. And so that's the news there. So obviously, Harry and Meghan wouldn't be there anyhow because, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm following you now, Stephen. I'm sorry that it took me this long to figure it out, but sometimes it takes me a second. Okay, so Archie's entering into school. He's entering into school somewhere in California, Montecito, Malibu, who knows. And what Stephen's mentioning is that there's no birth certificate for Archie because it's not valid school identification purposes, and they're not invited to the remembrance. So they're going to have to somehow play nice and get the birth certificate that's appropriate for going to school. Royal family has tradition of sending birthday greetings at 9 a.m., but none apparently did send the happy birthday wish to Meghan Markle. Castle of May, you can stay at B&B Scotland. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of properties that William especially is managing now he's even having his dad pay rent because it is like a B&B. Did not send birthday greetings. Okay. There he is. The Knight of Las Vegas has arrived. Okay, but you arrived late because we're almost done. Okay, so Stephen, the birthday of Meghan was not acknowledged anywhere, and it's typical tradition to send out an invite. This is what I say. If I'm throwing a party often and I have a VIP list and I keep inviting somebody to the VIP list, and I know it's a very, very special VIP list, and they never come or they don't RSVP, after a while, I'm like, just take them off my list for good. That's how I am. I'm very loyal, extremely loyal. You could stay on my list for a long time. I think the king has been like that, but after a while, it's like, why do I need to go bend over backwards? So it looks like now they're just, Now there are rumors, and you guys can tell me if you've heard anything. Oh, there's rumors that Harry has been speaking to his dad and some attorneys about divorce stuff, or that the king has been looking into it himself as to what the exit strategy would be. I don't know if any of that's true. Speculation, but I think this is what I'm predicting for Meghan and Harry. Even if they break up, I feel like Meghan, she wants to stay on the Hollywood, merry-go-round for a long time. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if she'll really be well received. Honestly, I don't think maybe she'll get a little bit of a boost since she's the royal from when she was just with Suits. But the irony to me now is that had she just stayed with Suits, if they would have kept her, the show's like a big hit now in reruns or whatever. And it's funny because all of the stuff that she went through, she may as well just kind of stayed Okay. Oh. Hang on. Oh. There's nothing more annoying than being cut off like that. So frustrating. So anyhow, I'll just hang on. Okay, can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry. Literally, I did nothing. I did nothing. Yes, it was a reptilian attack. I said something bad and it was like, ooh, I got the hand. Okay, technical difficulties, but we can still hear you. Okay. Selling the house for 14 million seems a precursor to divorce. It usually is. Thank you guys for being patient. This is so sensitive. I need to get a really expensive setup, and then I need to have it be in a regular place because I move around a lot to different places. So okay, so anyhow, that is the deal regarding the birthdays. I thank you guys for being patient. Let's follow up and talk about the house. And then I do want to talk about this prenup from Great Britain News and Archie's birth certificate, getting registered for school, and all of that, and see what happens. Let's see. Okay. So thank you guys so much for your support. I apologize for the technical difficulty, but I basically just went, and then it went out. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks so much. Bye.